Welcome in, everybody, as we get into round number 5 of the Summer Series here in the NA. And, well, midway through the season, we'll see who can break through for the top 8 into the playoffs. We say aloha, friends, and welcome inside of the booth. Clutchkey alongside Nerdy Bird with you for the Pirates and Pyjamas taking on Rift, and then later on as well, Pirates and Pyjamas taking on Timeless. But 4 games into the season, Nerdy, and this is where teams start to try to figure themselves out. Maybe if you're 1-3 like Rift is, or 3-1 like Pirates and Pyjamas, it's something's got to mold all together here.
Yeah, and the first sign of that is how are they starting to get along? Are they starting to figure things out? Is going to be on our first map, which of course is always Control, and this week we'll be starting out on Busan. And with that being said, Pirates have been kind of a little bit back and forth. They're 2-2 right now as far as being the victor of the first map or the losers, and so this one can really, kick them off in the right direction for the remainder of this season if they can put themselves ahead starting out on Busan. But, of course, that's just the first map as far as everything goes. Hopefully Pirates come out on top just because I like Pirates a little bit more. I can be a little biased sometimes. But either way, King of the Hill, I love seeing it. I really think it shows what team, with the dynamics that both teams bring to the table. But, that's only a little bit of the story that when it comes to both Rift and Pirates and Pyjamas.
Right, and we're taking a look at what the data we have so far. Only missing one game from that Good Boys matchup, and from the games that we have streamed right now, Pirates and Pyjamas sitting at 500 and a 2-2 record on Control thus far. Had both losses on Control. Both of their losses actually coming against Afterlife, and that's where their one loss comes from. Actually, let's get into that. And in terms of match history right now for both of these teams, because Pirates and Pyjamas right now sitting at a 3-1 record with that 11-4 map record. Good Boys and Amplified, 2 of their wins, starting off with a 3-1 record, and then right now. Afterlife, we were just talking about this, a 3-2 loss to them, who is currently in 8th place, and that is actually Afterlife's only win in the Summer Series thus far. But Pirates and Pyjamas would then regroup to a 3-0 win against Worldwide. You take a look at the other side as well. Rift with a 1-3 record started off really well against Strix, winning 3-2 in that map, and then all of a sudden it kind of just turned down, where Rift would lose, or rather they would lose 3-0, 3-1, and 3-2. Recently losing 3-2 against a very good old 3 Splash team. So that in itself, not too shabby. But again, 4 games into the series, now the standings start to get a little bit shifted as we take a look at the current standings right now in the NA series. And the NA side right now all together 4-0 for 0-3 Splash. They are 12-6 map record, very, very good right now. Pirates and Pyjamas, though, leading that map differential at a +7, 3-1 currently, and you can see the tiebreakers after that as well. Right now, the other team that we're watching is going to be Rift, who are 1-3, 6-11 right now. The other game you will be seeing later on today as well, after we're done with Rift, will be Pirates and Pyjamas versus Timeless. We'll talk about that one when we get to it, but an interesting 2-3 matchup. Timeless going on right now. There'll be Timeless's matchup actually is going to go on against 0-3 Splash. So it's a 1 versus 3 matchup headed into round number 5. And we can take a look at all the different things going on as well in the schedule going on right now for the NA side, at the very least, here in round number 5, because there's a lot of interesting matches to keep up with. Again, you can see Amplify versus Worldwide. That's 9 versus 12 matchup. But again, at the top of the board, Timeless versus 0-3 Splash. You're looking at a 1 versus 3 setup. Good Boys right around the 6-8 area, taking on Afterlife, who again is in that 8 area, want to be in the top 8 for the playoff series. So that's going to get very interesting as well. Strix and Wisp, another one you want to watch out for. Wisp, top 4 right now, tied for the 4th, along with the Saints as well, as Strix, who is number 7 right now in the standings. So lots to talk about here as well, and lots of streams to talk about as well. And let's bring that up, because the lots of streams to be had here, and actually there's a lot more than there's 3 going on right now. In fact, what you're watching right now is Pirates and Pyjamas taking on Rift. That will be the games you're watching on either side, but Rift has their own stream going on as well. Timeless and 0-3 Splash will be going on at the same token here on both of their streams, and on Good Boys only, you'll be able to watch that Good Boys versus Afterlife stream. So let's get into the game right now as we stand. Let's go into the map pick, and the very first map pick you were talking about is Busan, and the maps are predetermined here, so not a lot of changes to be had, at least for either side, really. You know what the map is going to be in round number 5, so with what is being said here, I mean, maybe you're going Ramonch, or maybe you're going a different brawl style here, depending on the map. I mean, what are you looking at going into Busan?
Well, okay, so if you think about it from the perspective of like what is each team's strengths, we do know for a fact that we have some very gifted wrecking ball players. So if we're playing on downtown, you can anticipate seeing a wrecking ball tracer and then maybe a widowmaker who's sitting off either on the catwalk that's in the middle inside that little secret spot, or starting out on top of one of the buildings and waiting for that wrecking ball to go in, get slams, then actually getting into that position so they're not caught out beforehand and looking to pick up any sort of squishies. Alternatively, you can go for more of that brawl style Ramatra composition, pull out a Mei, pull out the Lucio, and kind of lock down the center area and try to just catch people either out of rotation or when their cooldowns are on, on cool, so to speak. And with that being said, like, you can, all of the maps in Busan per se do favor different playstyles, and you can force different compositions into what could theoretically be your counters, but ultimately you don't have to do full comp swaps or anything like that. Even if, like, say we do have Brawl going into spam and your rotations just aren't on point, odds are you can swap out one support, one DPS, or even just swap your tank and you can make a change that'll work. Ultimately, though, it's going to be up to who wins that first fight to determine which composition is probably going to end up swapping some things up.
Well, let's take a look at some of the rosters as well that could be playing the Wrecking Ball here. And you take a look at the entire roster right now. I mean, Strider and Eric right now, both of your or Eric Heck, I should say, for Pirates and Pyjamas, both of your tanks. And like you said, Wrecking Ball heavy on either side. So Rift is going to bring out Astro next, as well as Crimson. So really some interesting names going on here. And of course, 3 DPSs on either side, 3 supports on either side. So you're looking at basically a depth chart here that really could go either way when you talk about all of the different maps that we could go through here. Of course, the regular standard map pool, the regular standard map order here, but a lot of different names in here, and could very well be that depth chart that you're looking for to kind of rotate around different maps.
Most definitely. But when it comes to, like, your support lineup, yeah, we've got 3 people. However, the one thing that I will point out is we're going to most likely see some, people are going to be probably stuck in either Lucio jail or Brigitte jail. Those are basically what your main supports are stuck into right now. There isn't a whole lot of wiggle room unless you have someone who absolutely 100% says, give me that mercy pocket and I'll go ham. So then your main support is just going to put on the wings and go fly around and make sure that one DPS gets as much possible value. Also, additionally, though we don't see her as much, Moira did recently get a buff. We could theoretically see her if we're going to be running that brawl composition with a Moira Lucio, or you could see Lucio Kiriko. Personally, though, I love any composition that's going to be centered around a Lucio. However, if your Lucio gets picked first, your team's going to be in hot water.
Yeah, it seems it's gonna be interesting to see different compositions, obviously, but the depth chart here is going to be one of the things you're looking out for, whether or not we get the substitutions in, and whether or not we get to see how many players we'll get to see all throughout the days as well. And of course, these players don't only have one match to do; these players have 2 matches to play out in going into round number 5 and 6 here in week number 2, and then of course they got to do this all over again tomorrow as well. So plenty of time to kind of get it all together. And we were talking about compositions here, rather in 4 rounds. Something should already be established here, but for a team like Rift right now that's sitting at 1 and 3, maybe a comp is maybe starting to be established a little bit, or maybe it's got to be something there. But after skidding along 3 games here, and even a close game after 0-3 Splash, losing 3 in a row has to be something that they're focused on to try to get a W today, because obviously this skid cannot continue if they want to go into the top 8 playoffs.
I can't argue with you on that front. I mean, if you've been trying to learn and try and become a team that is very dynamic and has a lot of composition so you can make swaps as needed, that can be a huge problem. And if you're struggling too much with a bunch of comps, maybe you cut it down to 2 or 1 and you just are like, okay, we're just going to run Brawl, and if they're running spam, our rotations better be on point that day. Our Lucio better know when to call things out. Moira, don't get your fade forced early and let's run it. Because at the end of the day, if you can really perfect one composition, understand how that wins into almost every other form of comp, you can't theoretically force that square peg into a round hole. It's just not going to be the easiest game in the world.
And yeah, and so we'll see if Rift can get it together. And you can see Rift stream right now again over on their page on Rift OW2. But meanwhile, here for the Pirates and Pyjamas side, let's take a look at their next 4 matches coming up here, and rather their schedule that it stands right now. And again, a lot of interesting matches for Pirates and Pyjamas. In fact, their next kind of 2 out of the 4 games get very interesting in terms of getting into the top 8 playoffs. Right now, you can see Rift going on right now, and of course, the next game coming out about 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to see Pirates and Pyjamas taking on a number 3 right now, Timeless team that is also 3-1, but the map differential just -2 from what Pirates and Pyjamas has. Meanwhile, Tuesday's games, you've got Dragon Dance taking on Pirates and Pyjamas, followed by Strix and Pirates and Pyjamas. Another game that you want to watch. In fact, that's a 7 versus 2 game right now. That could very well determine either Strix's or Pirates and Pyjamas placements going into the top 8, because after round number 8, you're looking at only 3 rounds left to go. That is not a lot of time to try to make a move. So here in these next 2 days becomes oh so important with both of these teams, or rather with all of these teams trying to make a move. And look, if you're Dragon Dance or if you're Rift right now, you're 1-3, but you can still make a move. Pirates and Pyjamas right now sitting okay at a 3-1 record, but 3-1, you're going to need a little bit more if you want to try to get into a higher seed, especially over an 0-3 Splash team. But Nerdy, I think the one game we are excited for that we're going to get later here today is that Timeless game, because a 2 versus 3 is always going to get some eyes watching.
I'm super excited to be able to watch the Timeless and Pyjamas game later, but for now, we got to focus on this one with Rift and Pyjamas. And honestly, when you started talking about it, I was like, nah, it's no pressure. It's all good. But you kept talking, and I was like, I really hope none of these players have the broadcast going, because Clutch, you just lathered on as much possible pressure onto these teams as possible. Like, this is it. This is where you set yourself forward, or you take 2 steps back, and you're really going to be messing yourself up for the seeding later on, which you're right. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to go in thinking about it like this is the first game. We're going to go in, play our best, and if map 1 doesn't go in your favor, take a couple minutes, figure out what went wrong, fix it for map 2, and just do the best you possibly can. You have to leave everything out on that virtual battlefield.
All right, so let's see what they leave out here to start us off. We're going into Busan, very first map of the day here, and you can see the records on the sides of the screens, 3-1, 1-3. So you would love to start off round number 5, and rather rounds 5 through 8 for this week with a win. Take a look at the starting lineups. Chronic, Scissor, Strider, Z-Man, and Zolik on the left side of your screen. In Pirates and Pyjamas, Rift have Chime, X10, Astro, Abyss, and Mitra. So right now, you're looking at Pirates and Pyjamas. You're thinking if they hold this, I mean, an interesting time, but it could be a bait. I mean, they're still in their spawn rooms, but I don't think I've seen much of a Torb, if anything, to start us off.
I mean, Chronic, I do have... Okay. Oh, okay, all right, yeah, see, there we go. Most likely TP out, swap Tracer, Widowmaker sets up to get into position and get ready when Wrecking Ball dives in. Tracer, Wrecking Ball follow up on damage. And it looks like, yes, we are swapping that out for the Tracer. X10 on the side of Rift did the same thing. Chime, though, on that Sombra, that is a lot of information gathering as well as a lot of disruption play as well. You don't have the Wrecking Ball, but Sombra, Tracer, you have to make sure you force out both of those DPS before your supports can really get into aggressive positioning and are able to do so without getting picked off.
Well, there's a pick for Pirates and Pyjamas starting us off. Chronic finding X10, and Astro falling oh so low, is still diving up there, but Astro does go down, and Pirates and Pyjamas right in command. A very quick start for them, and time composition with the Monkey so far not working out. Oh, and the Widowmaker just going uncontested as well.
Chime did come in, hacked Widow, translocates out after getting a little bit of chip damage done. 30% on that EMP. Not terrible after first fight, but really you want to try to get EMP within 2, so hopefully Sombra can start finding a little bit more value. Typically your Sombra and Tracer are looking to disrupt the same type of targets here pre-fight, and they already forced out that Tracer recall. Scissor in that 1v1 is going to back off after identifying that Wrecking Ball, getting posted up over on Coastline just to see if they can poke out this Tracer, and gives up on it, realizing they're spending too much time. Astronix just trying to poke out this Kiriko, force out that Swift Step, and then engage. Instead, takes over the high ground. It's going to go after the Widow.
Goes after the Widow right now, got the jump in. Astro goes right out, but cannot escape. Z-Man just lands up, shooting him down, and the Winston goes down yet again. We're halfway through the percentage, and it's just that one pick, that one tank pick is all Pirates and Pyjamas needs to win out a fight, and look, they're already pushing them back.
We have Scissors with Pulse Bomb. I'm interested to see who they choose to go after. This our supports for the side of Rifts. Ana, as well as Brigitte, have kind of been staying back a bit. Probably a little scared of the DPS and getting disrupted by this Wrecking Ball. Brick can't use too many cooldowns too early because of Tracer, but Scissors is actually going to go down early. This is an opportunity to claim some space. Now that one DPS is down, they only have to worry about Chronic and figure out how in the world they're going to get her down when the only person that they have to go against that Widowmaker, she's undeterred, unafraid, protected by her Baptiste. Winston goes up, is nano boosted, which is your win con right now for Rift. Wrecking Ball goes down. That's a fight reset if you're looking at Pirates and Pyjamas, and there was multiple ults spent to win that fight.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of final blows happening either. It's not like there's really been much of anything. And this Winston now finally putting on pressure to the Widowmaker. There's going to be a Primal Rage out in the back line, and the Primal Rage is able to find the Widowmaker in your back line as well. So Rift now with advantage in terms of manpower, and Rift having everything, but basically 2 ultimates. Pyjamas and Pyjamas coming up with a Kitsune Rush plus an Amplification Matrix as well as the landmine. So it's going to be pretty interesting for Rift to see if they can hold on, especially that EMP trying to come up big. But percentage-wise right now, Rift having at least the advantage right now. EMP is going to be used very early on. Only gets Chronic and Z-Man, but it's enough to get themselves a win here. And it's going to be another fight win off of 1 EMP. No need to use the rally whatsoever. Pirates and Pyjamas already having to back off unless they can try to win this in a 5v3, which doesn't look likely.
In my mind, I was like, okay, so are we going to go offensive EMP or defensive EMP? Are we going to let the side of Pirates and Pyjamas come in, get their window up, get Kitsune Rush out, or possibly ball mines on point, and then force our EMP? Or is Chime just going to say, no, I'm going to do it proactively, and that's exactly what Chime did. Ulting first is always the way you want to go. Ymitra's still chilling on this rally. It's going to be the only ultimate online for the side of Rift, and we are entering into that one-fight territory if this first engage takes too long, and Rally gets procced, trying to keep this Ana safe.
Rally goes off, and we'll see if this lands up with anything. Shield dash still available. With shot as well. Dimitra just says hello to Zolik. There's the Pulse Bomb out. Pulse Bomb blocked. Nothing doing there. And it's going to be Rift right on the attacking side. They've already found 2 picks, and it's looking good for Rift right now. 81%, and you were talking about final fight territory. Well, it's happening right now as just teleporting back away right now. Pirates and Pyjamas sitting with 2 ultimates. With that Amp Matrix, with the landmines, Chronic coming on the info site as well. Rift with absolutely nothing except for maybe an Ana Boost, maybe even a Primal Rage is down. There's the hack onto the Wrecking Ball, makes sure they're slowed down for a little while. We get into the overtime clock right now as the landmines are out and about, and he's just going to land up with anything. Pirates and Pyjamas not able to flip the point right now, so they don't have advantage. Now they have advantage with the point flip, but Astro's able to fight in your backline. How about the Nano Boost with Abyss onto Astro? Big plays from them so far, 2 kills. And that's looking good for Rift right now to take this right back. 96%, we're going 99 to 97 on the overtime clock. Strider goes down, and there's only going to be 2 left to touch with the EMP from Time. Is going to end all hope there. With Strider and Zolik gone, it's going to be map number 1. Headed on over to Rift as they'll get the final blows, and Rift 197 starting us off on downtown.
Honestly, Rift's discipline and patience on that last fight on point. They recognized Wrecking Ball came in, used the landmines, but really, again, I mentioned it earlier, that win condition of that Primal on Winston. They knew they had time, they had the percentage advantage, they could let the overtime begin and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, just play touch and go on point, get the Nano Boost off on the Winston, and then play cleanup crew, and that's exactly what they did. Pirates and Pyjamas, they're at a very explosive composition, but they rely on making sure the targets are where they need them to be and following up on them. And as soon as you use those cooldowns, it's get in, get out, and if you don't get out, your get out is going to be in respawn.
Oh, yep, they couldn't get out, and so for Rift right now, sitting on advantage, Pirates and Pyjamas needing to get these next 2 here in both Sanctuary as well as Mecha Base right now. That actually would be one of their first maps dropped here unless they go 0-2 against what was Afterlife. So if they drop a map, that means they would lose 0-2. And again, the only maps we have off to go off of is Afterlife's match, which they lost 3-2 so far. So Rift right now sitting pretty okay with a 1-0 lead as point unlocks in about 5 seconds. First control point basically ended on over to Pirates and Pyjamas. The Wrecking Ball just going to not have a great time, just being hacked over and over again. Absolutely getting no value on a rollout so far. But they're in the back line. It's already going to be a first flip here to Pirates and Pyjamas for free, so nothing really doing. They're just kind of sitting and settling.
My only concern with Pirates and Pyjamas composition is Z-Man on Ana. I'm not saying Z-Man, their Ana is not, you know, bread and butter for them. Their Ana is fabulous, but the issue is that if Ana gets dove by the DPS, gets hacked by a Sombra and Tracer follows up, they're in hot water, whereas the other side of Rift, Abyss has Yamricha to protect him. So really, it's a matter of making sure your backlines can stay alive as we have Chime actually take out the Zenyatta for Pirates, and down goes the Ana too. Your protection of the Zen, because you're clumped up together, is gone. Does a lot of damage, doesn't have a lot of movement.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of movement. There's already 3 kills falling here for Rift, and Rift back in command. This is pretty much deja vu, but a little bit faster because Rift now takes control of the point, and now Pirates and Pyjamas having to play on the back end here. But you look at the ultimates right now, Pirates and Pyjamas is going to have a pulse bomb, but that's about it. If you're talking about Nano Boost, 70 to 83% in favor of Rift right now. Abyss is going to be the first one to that Nano Boost. And when it's a Nano Boosted Astro, things can happen. Things can happen. But Zolik's able to find X10, and that's a big pick for you. Less chances of a dive unless you're Chime. Chime has that EMP coming up. See if they decide to fight. They are going to go right onto the point. They're going to try to keep it as long as they can. 15% lead just dwindling away now for Pirates in Pyjamas, but Strider and Chronic help themselves out to a few picks of their own, and Pirates in Pyjamas back in the driver's seat.
Supports are set up away from that typical drum high ground, instead of choosing to stay on the left side of the point. Scissors looking for an opportunity to get a juicy pulse bomb in on someone. Most likely going to land it on Brig, but make sure you don't get it on their on Brigida's shield. Abyss and Brig are sticking close together, so let's see, is it going to be a 2-for-1 combo or just Scissors pulse bombing themselves basically?
Oh, see EMP pulse bomb either end. Pulse bomb is going to go just a little bit short of the Ana. Ana's able to escape. So there's nothing there for Scissors right now. Extend still has yet to use theirs. EMP available on either side. There's going to be an Ana boost from Z-Man available as well. Nothing for Abyss. 73% though. Pirates in Pyjamas still in there. There's an EMP. It only hit Zolik, I believe. Zolik's the only one to go down there, but that may be good enough here for Rift to win out this fight. And it might as well, because Chronic goes down, and Chronic uses the EMP, and that's going to be to no avail either. Strider just cannot get out. Shield bash plus hack. Strider's not having a good day. Rift is back in command.
Yeah, Strider got the new form of Overwatch experience when it comes to CC. Slept, hacked, and then bashed, and you know, you can't play at that point. You just watch the health bar, which was almost full, go from in the green to just down to nothing.
Yeah, that's not a good day. It's not. You're not having a good day when all that happens to you, when you're just hit by everything. But I guess that's the Wrecking Ball experience, if you will, when you get hit by everything here. Transcendence is going to be used as well as the Nano Boost. There's a pulse bomb stuck on the Z-Man. You can't really Transcendence heal that, so not good news if you're Pirates in Pyjamas. And right now, they're just go ahead and they're just going to go right ahead and use the Primal Rage just to chase them away right now. But 70%, you're looking at Final Fight territory already, considering what's going on.
Astronics chilled on point for a hot second in Primal Rage, realizing, there's not much I can do here without putting myself in a bad spot. Strider's going to back off, disengage, he's going to wait for his team. Scissors is going to be the one to make sure that there is some pressure being taken to point. And it does look like X10 goes down, so one Tracer gone, that's an advantage in favor of the side of Pirates in Pyjamas right now, as we have Strider coming through, trying to disengage the supports, take damage away from the main point, and take their attention. Point flips in favor of Pirates in Pyjamas.
Point flips, and there's a stick. There's a big stick inside of that side room. Scissors finds a double onto Abyss and Yumitra. This could very well send us to map number 3 right now, 95%. And Scissors may have just come up with the winning kills right there on one pulse bomb. Overtime clock does happen. X10 is on point, but X10 is going to be the only one that can reach the point. And only one more left to go. That is Yumitra on the Lucio that's going to be able to touch for right now. Going to be trying to just touch over and over. There's an auto-boosted Winston. This gives you a chance at the very least. Touches yet again. Overtime clock still handled. EMP available for Chime, but EMP's got to be used now or never. It's only on Strider that EMP is good for, but it might not be good enough. X10 is the only one left to go on the point as the Tracer. I don't think anybody's going to be able to hop on in time, and we are headed to map number 3. The Mecha base we go as it's a 194 flip right back to the Pirates.
Oh my gosh, that pulse bomb over on the health pack, whichever person on the team's in charge of ult tracking, I bet you they called pulse bomb and they said we got to be careful of Tracer. Probably in their mind was like, probably shouldn't go into small rooms, but thought that in, you know, the 3v1 instance they could burst down the Tracer fast enough. Tracer still had recall and said, I'm gonna get out of here, drops the pulse, backs away. Only survivor's gonna be the tank. That's just tragic.
Tragedy, a Greek tragedy, if you will. Just both of your supports going down there is absolutely nuts, and Rift just had no chance after that to try to contest, especially in Final Fight territory too. Strider doing an excellent job of kind of making sure that Pirates was able to flip that back, getting all the attention for both the tank and the supports at the same time. So well done by Strider. And now Pirates in Pyjamas with the momentum heading into this Ramatra combination. Actually a mirror on either side. Who's going to be more aggressive would be the question. They try to push right on in here to the second deck level. 9 seconds left to go to the point unlocked. Still nothing really doing, but in terms of damage right now, Pirates and Pyjamas looking pretty dang good. There's the ice block that's out for right now, and Scissors is caught in so much trouble. Immortality Field can only save you for so long. It's a trade out though, made for the Sojourn. At the very same token, actually the mirror battle, and both Immortality Fields invested as well. So the point is unlocked, but nobody's going for it until they can guarantee themselves a fight win. And right now, I mean, it seems like Pirates and Pyjamas has a little more aggressive line, and both them back in Nemesis form, and it's going to be the Ramatra actually falling down, but it doesn't really matter when Chime and Yumitra are finding heads to roll, and now Rift back in control here as it's going to be Astro onto the point to flip it off, but it's still them in command.
unfortunately, Pirates, instead of staying more in a ball formation, they actually started playing in a line and very linearly. That allowed for a lot of damage to come in from multiple angles and allowed Rift to pick them off. I mean, when you're going Brawl v Brawl, you got to keep in mind how your comp plays, and playing as a unit kind of stuffed inside your tank's hitbox, so to speak, is how you want to go. Also, we saw Pirates, they were the first to use their Cryo Freeze on their Mei, as well as their Immortality, and those are two big go buttons. If Rift Lucio saw that and Yumitra was just like, alright, I have Amp, let's go, we would have seen that fight end way faster.
Annihilation is not going to be used, but instead it's going to be Strider going down right away. Just too much pressure, especially from the Blizzard of time. That's going to bring out Astro's 2 kills, followed by an Immortality field just to secure the rest. And right now, Rift playing this brawl to the dime perfectly right now.
We're going to be going into the overclock coming out from X10. Astronix is going to have Annihilation. Yumitra is going to have that beat. Whereas the side of Pirates and Pyjamas, the only thing they're behind on as far as ults right now is Mei, who's about 13% off. Other than that, they have every Q in the game. Typically speaking, the team that can commit more ultimates should win the fight, but the question is it worth it? We're going to start out by using Window just to lock down the entire lane. It does get kind of walled off, only partially, to allow the side of Rift to back off. Now they're going to be taking kind of a neutral fight here in the beginning, so it comes down to who's going to throw the next ult to be able to come out on top. The slows are both used. Mei's pummeling damage down onto Strider, and there is the Annihilation popped. I believe both of them have been instigated. No, it's just one, and Exen also uses the overclock.
Yep, they also use the overclock as well, seeing if they can guarantee anything. Astro's going to use their Annihilation later, but it's frozen out by a Blizzard from Scissors, but they're still trading out. Rift still has control of the point, but Strider and Zolik trying to end this right now, trying to flip it back in their favor. They want to take this to about 99 because you have the advantage that way. Pirates and Pyjamas having to throw out everything. They're even going to use the overclock to guarantee a fight win here. Doesn't find any kills with it, but still Pirates and Pyjamas in last fight territory all the way through.
They are very close to Window. Abyss, of course, 98%, so that 10% difference is huge in this instance, and Chime's going to be coming up as well with that Blizzard. There is going to be really nothing that can be done to counter it unless Z-Man is able to get away and they're able to be on high ground. He uses Amp a little bit more defensively, but instead the first ult's going to be coming out from Abyss to window down the entire lane.
Yep. Tries to window down what they can for right now. No kills falling with that, but Yumitra through the window at the last second. Able to find Chronic, a big pick. No more main healer. You've got to rely on a Lucio who does not have a sound barrier either. Already going to use the crowd freeze. Chime has a Blizzard available to them, and that might be all they need. Chime's got a headshot onto Zolik. There's the Blizzard out, and that's going to freeze away Strider, and that might freeze away the chances for Pirates and Pyjamas to win out this fight. They've used both of their mortality fields, just keeping them on the wall. They want to chase this maid down to the depths of hell, and they've got the Scissors down 99%, but still 52% and rolling. Overclock is going to be used here, and overtime will hit as well. Somebody's got to touch the point. It won't be Zolik. It won't be anybody else, and Rift is going to be able to win this first map out on side of Busan 2-1.
Yikes, just seeing that Lucio trying to wall ride to safety and stay alive and get the touches on point broke my heart because I've been there too often. We have Zolix coming in with the play of the game on Lucio, and this was when we had Rift at 81%. That beat saved so many people and is able to just pummel in some damage behind their Ramatra, and that's exactly how you want to be doing this. You don't need to be in front of your tank. Your tank is your front line. Why are you frontlining if you're not the tank is the biggest question a lot of players have to ask themselves. And that Lucio, perfect spot, was able to dodge damage and apply pressure.
Yeah, and a lot of times as well, too, you're looking at Strider just not having a fun day whatsoever, especially on the Wrecking Ball. Got hit with everything, and then in the end, too, kind of got deep freezed with that Mei, especially the Blizzards hitting Strider both times. So Strider's just not having fun right now, but for Pirates and Pyjamas right now, they need to find a way to have some fun because they're down 1-0 against the Rift team again. 1-3, Pirates and Pyjamas sitting at 3-1, an all-important game for them to see if they can go toe-to-toe with Timeless. Next map upcoming, by the way, is going to be Hybrid, so only 3 maps to choose from here. It's going to be Eichenwald, Midtown, or Numbani. So out of those 3 maps, from what you're looking like right now, if you're looking at Pirates and Pyjamas, they have gone all over the place. They went, in terms of when they won, they've gone to Numbani, but in the case that they lose, which is only one time, they are going to Midtown, and they went to Midtown against Afterlife, and in fact, Midtown is where we're going next.
Well, let's see if they're able to write a different story than what they dealt with on map 1 on Control Point. Midtown, honestly, it's not my favorite map. I as much as I don't like the map, I actually would have preferred to have seen Numbani, but that's just my own personal preference. I feel like it plays more into the dive style, but if you're just not feeling it at that moment, Midtown can work. You have the alley rotation on the left side through choke point. You can go towards the mega pack and rotate towards point, but odds are I foresee Pirates and Pyjamas most likely being on defense first, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Indeed, last time they picked Midtown here, they went against Afterlife. Would win the map 2-1 here, and have not lost a single hybrid map according to our data at the very least. So hybrid may be more their style. The farthest that they've ever gone was back on Numbani. You were talking about Numbani. That's the farthest they ever went and would actually win that map 5-3. So that is a lot of map play to talk about, especially.
Give me the Numbani.
Yeah, especially in 2 rounds on either side. So we'll see Midtown here again. Midtown picked by Pirates and Pyjamas last time. They go 2-1, 2-1, I guess you could say, in points wise on the map. So this could be very well their advantage. And the last time we saw maybe a little bit of a push in for that Ashe, maybe alongside that Ramontra as well. They pushed in very well. So could very well be seeing the same thing here, especially on Midtown, where you don't really have to go and rush. You're probably going to see the Ana Brigida yet again, unless they decide maybe not if they want to go fast. But for Midtown at the very least, that Ana Brigida looking like a pretty solid line for the supports at the very least.
I love that you mentioned that, because one thing that I've been told is, as someone who's forced onto Brig a lot, if you're playing Brig, you better not be having fun or you're playing her wrong. If you're not bored, you're playing her wrong. So to any of the supports today across any broadcast that is just hard stuck on Brig, I'm sorry.
Brig, I mean, hey, look, Brig is fun. I mean, okay, now I just said the wrong words and Nerdy's looking at me like, what did you just say?
I am not a Brigida enjoyer. I've just been forced onto Brig. That's all I'm saying, and I get it. She provides so much utility to the Ana, and that is why she's powerful. She can keep your Ana alive if your Ana knows where they need to be positioned, and typically, at this level of gameplay, you're gonna see Anas that are in great spots that have natural cover ready to go. They just have to back off or turn a corner, and they're fine. They're not gonna give up high ground super easily, and so that Brig Ana is a really hard core to break apart, unless you're going to commit a lot of resources to it. And if you are, then the team that is being dove onto or rushed onto is going to then just wait it out and trade backlines in that instance. And so it's a zero-sum game in that instance if you're bringing on and know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, we'll see the support lines on either side. Rift playing that very well for them, except maybe, I guess you could say the exception would be that second map, which they won 194 on Sanctuary. Other than that, supports have been very, very well done by Rift, especially on that BAP-Lucio combination that we saw on the mecha base to end that, only giving up 50% in the end. But next map, again, coming up is Midtown. Only 3 to choose from. Eichenwald and Numbani or Midtown, so Midtown, Sorry, folks, you're not going to see Kings Row here in the Contender size. No Scripture, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, that's the heartbreak.
Tragic.
How will we live? How will we live? Yeah, no Kings Row, unfortunately. But Numbani out, Eichenwald out. It's going to be Midtown going in next. And like I said, last match that I've seen from the Pirates and Pyjamas team, we would see the Ramontra. We would, maybe see an Ashe as well, but mainly support line you're looking for is that Ana Brigida. So Midtown, they're headed to the streets of New York, one of the newer maps, of course, inside of Overwatch. And pretty nice track to go alongside this, whoever picked it.
Shout out to
production. This a little. Yeah, shout out Prod.
Honestly, I'm excited to see what happens here. I'm hoping we don't see a perfect mirror comp like we did on Busan Mecha Base. I mean, as great as it is, it becomes a game of mistakes, and mistakes become more blatantly apparent when you're having perfect mirror comps happening. Rift is going to go with the Tracer Winston and has Hanzo, and then Abyss is going to be, once again, on that Ana. So this is a playing for the Nano Boost win condition. And then the side of Pirates in Pyjamas, Chronic is actually going to be on the Ashe. I'm excited to see how much value we see out of those Dynamites, how much pressure, and are they able to force out DPS or the supports. Never mind, Chime's actually going to be on Widowmaker, so double sniper coming out for Rift on attack is going to be a little scary. I'm excited for it. And then, of course, the core unit of the Ana and that Brigida, again, coming out for Pirates and Pyjamas.
Let's see. Both sides bringing out something different here. Rift has the double sniper combination, but we'll go from the Widowmaker. Thought they could get a pick, but no, it's not going to be. So it's going to be a Tracer instead. So one Tracer and a one kind of sniper-ish, in fact, with X10 having the Hanzo and Chronic on the Ashe. Like I said, Ashe from Mantra usually the play here for Pirates in Pyjamas alongside that Ana Brigida. Tracer was also in question there as well. As they go into the side room here, into a little bit of the dressing room area for the firefighters, but nothing doing there so far. And actually, the Roch are just pushing up right on the Brigida so far, just keeping the supports at bay. And now Astro's just going to dive right into their back line right now, see if they can Find a pick upstairs on that second level. Nothing doing just yet, 45 seconds in.
It's very interesting. We actually saw Scissors get his recall forced out very early, and the way Strider also had Nemesis form forced out very early, but because they didn't full engage, they were just gaining some space, they didn't overcommit on those cooldowns, they weren't taken advantage of and weren't walked on. Also because the cooldowns coming out for Rift were waiting to reboot as well, and there goes another Nemesis form. We did not see the slow, however, Pummel's coming out. Ana is going to keep their Zenyatta, well, their Hanzo alive, and it looks like Strider has a Sonic Arrow right side to his staff right now.
Yeah, they also found a headshot as well, so it's a 1-1 trade right now. But if you're a 1-1 trade, that's probably in the favor of the defensive side here. Already a minute and a half gone, and really nothing gained from what's going on right now. Tracer's going to be the only one back in your back line for right now. There's going to be a lot of ultimates being used. Abyss used the nano boost, the Dragon Strike splits up the team and forces them off high ground, but Chronic is still able to find a kill onto Chime. There's a sleep on the Strider. Z-Man has the nano boost on the Strider, but it will only last for so long here. Pyjamas in Pyjamas with 3 ultimates decides whether or not they want to try to invest in it, but when they find 2 picks, you really don't need to find it. X10 right in the face of Chronic says hello, but is denied anything else right away with 2 minutes left to go. Pirates in Pyjamas looking good defensively.
The scary thing is that the only thing that was committed from Pirates in Pyjamas was that nano boost. So theoretically, Rift should be aware they have every ult online, whereas we just committed nano, we committed dragons for entry. Now we're going to be relying on a big pulse bomb. Astronics, though, he has done great with these primal rages, has been able to pick up multi-kills. So if Astronics can get that early here in this fight, that can be an instant, you know, point lockdown. Unfortunately, Rift will lose Abyss. He is in the Shadow Realm, as is X10. So it looks like Pirates in Pyjamas is going to be struggling a little bit here. But
Yeah,
apologies, Rift is struggling.
Yeah, this Ashe is just absolutely tearing this team apart right now. Dynamites and all, and plus hasn't even used the Bob, and you can't hack it either. The only thing you have is a sleep, if anything, or even a Primal Rage, maybe to knock it out of the way if you've got that, but you wouldn't waste it on that. So Bob is really a big play here for Pirates in Pyjamas, making that the 6th man available to them. But only a minute left to go, and again, nothing doing here for Rift right now, and this is showing why Pirates in Pyjamas really like this map. 2nd pick in a row for them here for this Midtown map. They're going to use the rally right away. Shield dash onto the Ramattra Strider. Strider is able to get away for right now, but no other ultimates used, so the rally just goes a little bit quiet here in terms of kills or any pushes forward, except they finally get a push forward, and there's the pick you want onto Zolik. And no resist either. You've got Astro kind of slept there for just a couple of moments, but still able to find picks in your backline. Strider and Chronic hold on to their ultimates.
You mentioned Brigitte kind of not doing a whole lot with the rally. I mean, at a certain point, you can't just hold up your shield, point, and laugh because there's nothing anyone can do against you. Yeah, Ramattra can pummel through you, but then if you're getting pummeled by a Ramattra, your DPS just goes on the sides and takes him out. And here comes Ramattra. Strider going in onto that backline, forcing them out of position, out of the light of safety, is going to use slow, is out for blood on Brig. And Brig and Ana both rotating to try and stay alive. Unfortunately, it looks like Strider might come out on top of this 2v1, popping the ultimate. And it does look like we've committed it nano also onto the Brigitte.
Wait a minute, but watch the point as well. They've already got 2 ticks on the point. Chronic and Scissors forcing out the overtime clock. Bob was there as well, but they're going to get 2 ticks, and Chronic's just going to find the rest of the heads and the rest of the body shots to fall. Chronic finds 4 in that last fight, and my oh my, the Ashe pick working out well in their favor. They deny them a full hold. They get basically only 70%, and that's all Pirates in Pyjamas needs to send us to a best of 3.
Chronic is very scary.
Yeah, scary. Terrifying.
I mean, I love Ashe. I love watching people get turned to barbecue, but that is horrifying. Holy cow. And you mentioned it earlier that, like, Bob is extremely annoying. If you're on it, of course, we're going to say that theoretically Z-Man and Abyss will know that there is going to be a Bob thrown, have the sleep on cool and ready to just yeet it at the Bob, sleep him, make him go goodnight, or tell the team like, hey, my sleep isn't ready to go, let's just turn and delete him. And they really got to make sure that Bob is in a spot where it's not going to do too much damage versus the team trying to also attack them in that moment. So of course, while Bob is scary and annoying, I really think the scary thing that was Chronic there, well, Chronic in that instance, was just the dynamite combinations as well as the head clicking. It doesn't even need to be the Bob, it was the accuracy and using that dynamite to the maximum ability.
Yep, and so the Ashe right now probably not in play for the attacking side. Chronic's going to go on to the Somber, maybe just to scout out before going back, and maybe it's even the Ashe. But Rift says, well, we're going to try this maybe on the defensive side. Maybe it'll work this time around, but, well, Pirates in Pyjamas kind of shut them down on the attacking side, so maybe defensive will be a little bit different for Rift. That's what they're hoping. Pirates in Pyjamas, though, coming out of the gate here, coming out of the restaurants, as I try to see what's going on, especially with the Somber kind of just being the scout, maybe the scout for right now, or maybe they even hold on to it, because a big hack here onto the backline could very, very well be good for your team. But no, Chronic instead, against maybe a little bit more of a scout, switches back on over to the Ashe. And Ashe doing so much for right now, but in the meanwhile, Strider not on the Ramacho anymore, decides, let's play Winston, let's try to get in their backline. And that Dynamite run out to X10 is so huge.
Whoa.
Strider can just jump on in and just say hello, and now a push for the Pirates. They just gonna go right in and isolate out. It's a Winston v Winston battle. They're staring down each other, they're kind of just greening each other for a little while as they both got heals on that second level, but again, one DPS down makes this a 5v4 situation. Yamitra in so much trouble. Target Cryo right now looking very good. The target focusing is so well done on Pirates and Pyjamas. First take already garnered. Second take going to get easily as well. Maybe got to hold on to this, but it's just going to be the Ana left to go. But there is no trouble in Midtown whatsoever. No trouble in New York. Pirates and Pyjamas tie up the series at 1 apiece.
I mean, not saying Rift didn't do their research, but Rift was probably aware that Pirates and Pyjamas was very comfortable on this map, but in regards to the other two options they had, they probably felt that this was the best option for their team. Fortunately for them, it didn't work out in their favor. The defense that came out from Pirates and Pyjamas and Chronic, the person we were talking about after round 1, gets play of the game nonetheless on that Ashe. Like I said, the Dynamites just shutting down areas and being used to be oppressive were huge, but then that first Dynamite on attack, just right on top of that poor Hanzo. You don't have cleanse. There really is no instant healing other than landing a nade on the Hanzo in that instance. You are being turned into barbecue, and the Winston's about to shut the door on the smoker by just dropping down and Goomba stomping you, and that was just tragic. But Chronic, nicely done, well-deserved play of the game, and now we're going to be moving on to Escort.
Yep, we're moving on to Escort right now, and again, we are basically going off the data that we have right now, but Escort-wise, in terms of the map pool, plenty to talk about, especially when two of the maps, the only two maps that we've seen so far, at least for Escort right now, have been either Circuit Royale or even Gibraltar, rather, the dive combination. We saw that dive just now with that Winston combination, so maybe it is Gibraltar, but from the looks of it right now, Rift with the pick has picked Circuit Royale in the past. They've also picked Gibraltar as well when it's their pick as well, so they really could go either way with this, but it looks like maybe more high ground or maybe more dive style here for Rift coming up.
Honestly, considering just the fact that Pirates and Pyjamas have a really strong Winston player, maybe going on Gibby is not the way to go. Circuit Royale can be very powerful if you have DPS that are able to, lock down angles and you're ready to play a spam composition and play for the long fights, which is something that Rift showed, at least on Busan, they're very good at doing. They are good at stretching out fights, making them last longer than the other team wants to, make that tank run out of gas, so to speak. So honestly, I think Rift, just what we've seen thus far, favors more into going into Circuit Royale. And if they choose Gibby, hopefully they have an ace in the hole that we haven't seen thus far.
Well, they're not going to go they're not going to go Gibraltar, I should say. They are going to go the other map that they picked in the very first round. They're going to go to Circuit Royale here in a couple of moments. So Circuit Royale is indeed going to be the pick, and if it's gonna, maybe they play Winston here, but obviously this is more the Sigma map, as we all know, so Sigma's probably going to be pulled out here, but I'm mainly interested to see the Widowmaker and the Hanzo, if they pick that at all, because X10's Hanzo did not get to have a lot of fun on Midtown, especially after getting that Dynamite right to the face, so maybe it gets a little more fun here, because you're thinking about sides as well. Rift is probably going to be the first one to attack, so maybe we'll see Rift kind of pop off. Maybe X10 gets a chance to even play.
You're rubbing salt in the man's wound right now. Oh my gosh. Everyone, you get caught out. It happens. Overwatch at this level is a game of mistakes, and everybody has to mess up at some point. Everyone gets caught out. Everybody dies, in the words of Ana. With that being said, I do foresee possibly having a Hanzo and a Widowmaker on attack, and on defense, you could theoretically do that as well, but you're really going for the three-corner defense, which is starting up in front of that Lamborghini on the first corner where the payload kind of starts, just right in front of it, and then backing off underneath the bridge, holding that second corner, and then holding the third right before the checkpoint. So that can favor going more into like a JQ brawl if you're prepared to deal with the enemy team being able to lock down angles and knowing how to out-rotate that. But playing for the long fight spam can work very well in those instances, but just making sure you know when to give up space will be very important for the defensive team.
Yeah, this will be very important here against Circuit Royale. The highest, I guess you could say, structure-wise in terms of height in between points here, unless you're on Gibraltar. So very, very interesting to see what these teams are going to play out, because again, we've only seen rather dive or brawl so far. We really haven't seen maybe a Sigma being pulled out, so we don't know who's going to go in, and especially maybe with the depth chart as well, maybe you switch out tanks. I haven't seen anybody really been switched out just yet. In fact, no substitutions have been named so far. So either way, you have 8 players on your roster on either side, 2 tanks, 3 DPS, 3 supports. Maybe there's one that's a little bit better on this one, who knows. But for Rift right now, I mean, they lost the last time they played Circuit Royale. They did lose against, I believe it was Strix 2-0 there on that map. So we'll get to see if for Circuit Royale, if Rift can bring this one back into their favor, because they're now 1-1 on Escort maps, again, by the data that we have so far. So we now go into Circuit Royale, and Circuit Royale, of course, in Monaco, but for very many F1 cars going around as well. But I mean, still, the sniper map, the Sigma map, obviously. Well, question is, will we get to see that? Because this could still go dive.
I have faith in X10, them being like, you know what, Midtown, it wasn't my cup of tea. This time, I got it. I'm going to be clicking heads. RNGesus is going to help me a little bit, but they're not taking control of the entire wheel here, and my Hanzo is going to be godlike. I believe that they're going to bring it back in their favor, but ultimately, it's a full team versus a full team. It's just, we're going to see who dies first, and that typically is a bad time. Oh! Mick, it is... Okay, so Pirates is on attack first, and if theoretically they keep this Lifeweaver...
This has to be a bait, no?
You could do something really... Okay, thank goodness they're not doing it. The one thing I've seen that my brain exploded when I saw it because it was against me, I was up here on this high ground, the fake high ground. It's a bait. It sucks being up there. You get killed so easily. But an entire dive squad, we heard the pedal activate. They all came up over the left ledge and landed on us. Horrifying. I'm glad we're not seeing that silliness, though.
Well, it's pretty much going to be what you expect here on either side. Going to be the Zenyatta Baptiste as well as the Sigma, obviously. And you got the Widow be Widow, Hanzo be Hanzo battle. Who's going to find the first click on the head would be the question. Trying jump shots over and over. Somebody's got to find something here. The shields are perfectly placed for right now. But around the corner, somebody's going to have to peek for damage. But it's Pirates and Pyjamas right now finding the pressure. And actually a big pick onto Astro is going to let them push right on up. This is not looking good here for Rift. And you're giving your rather snipers really no room to play with. It's just a Hanzo just trying to stay alive as long as he possibly can. And we'll back up to the rest of the team. But what an opening pick.
The tragedy that occurred was, unfortunately, Astronics used Rock really early, and typically you want to wait for, you know, the hand to come out from the enemy Sigma before you drop Rock. Instead, used it too early, got poked down, was using their kinetic grasp, ended up getting Rock, so they couldn't get any healing from it. That's just the nature of the Rock, Paper, Scissors game with Zen v Zen, well, the Sigma v Sigma. Right,
so let's see right now, about 3.5 meters left to go before they reach that so-called finish line, but finishing only checkpoint number 1. And right now it's just a heated battle between the Hanzo and the Widowmaker. Peeking right now, could find the head. It was out. That was oh so close. That shot was in our ear right now, but still trying to find maybe a jump shot around the corner. Widow finds nothing there. Chime is sitting on top of the high ground, just sitting ever so steadily, seeing if they can find a pick. No ultimates on either side. The only thing you're going to have up here is an amplification matrix. C-Man's going to be the first one to get it, but the big pick yet again. Chronic from the jump shot from the rafters is able to find X10 to win that one out. Strider's found 3, and it's going to be an extra 2.5 coming to the bank for Pirates and Pyjamas.
Okay, now the real quest begins, because this is a part that everybody kind of struggles with a little bit when it comes to Midtown, is this double ramp zone. You are having someone push, they need to know when they're needed versus when they can back off. And yes, of course, it is going to be the Zenyatta, who is our payload princess right now, going shopping for the team. And it looks like, yes, Strider already forced to use hand, backing off, shield got obliterated. So small give and take happening. Rift backs off, Pirates and Pyjamas able to come forward, but if they can force out a lot of cooldowns from Astronics, that's more space that can be gained back again for the side of Pirates and Pyjamas. We'll wait and see.
Gravitic Flux gets cancelled. Accretion. Astro says, no, 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 not today, my friend. You're not going to use that this time around. You're going to have to wait another maybe couple of minutes for that. 347. Dragon Strike's going to split up the team for a little while, see if they can find any picks. In the meanwhile, Chronic yet again finds X10, and Chronic finds a second sniper, finds both the heads of Chime and X10. My oh my, the snipers coming out big for Pirates in Pajamas and add another 90 to the bank, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's... when we're in first person right now, Clutch and I are both hearing like Widowmaker shots in particular, like whiz by a DPS's ear on like the left side or the right side, and then right after the follow-up shot is on target and that person's in respawn. Yikers.
Yikes. Big yikes. Big yikers. I mean, Pirates in Pajamas right now, Chronic cannot miss. That's the big thing. Chronic's just not missing. And now Pirates in Pajamas going to go for a different setup here. Instead of the Hanzo, they're switching on over to the Genji, which in a little more close quarters combination could work out, but see if they can even get close enough maybe to find a backline here in this old. I mean, look at Scissors right now playing a little bit sneaky. Chronic, though, still finding heads to roll. Chronic is just executing the entire team and forces out the accretion, forces out the kinetic grasp as well. And with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, we're in a home stretch territory. Right now, Rift has got to find an answer because Chronic is just hitting some insane shots. Here comes the card down the lane into the home stretch. 4-minute time bank. Still in favor. Pirates in Pajamas right now. They have plenty of time to burn here even if they lose this fight. But can Chronic find some more shots? Finding up. Oh, that was so close. Finds a body shot onto the Zenyatta for right now. And Scissors applying oh so much pressure. But there's the headshot. There's another headshot onto Abyss this time around. But Scissors is taken out back to a 4v4, making a 4v3. Chronic is still finding ways to get picks. Knows where the Hanzo is. Can you find another one here on the left side? Another head for Chronic. Chronic just cannot be stopped. Infrasight is up as well. Nobody else is going to be able to touch a point here. Rift knows it as well. They just gave up. But they have it as well as Chronic again off the spawn point. He's still able to find another headshot. There's another take onto the Doomfist as well. It's just a Zenyatta, but Chronic just cannot be stopped on the hands of Chronic, just executing the entire team. Pirates in Pajamas go uno, dos, adios, completing the entire map of Circuit Royale. But my oh my, Chronic on a tear.
Holy cow. I mean, when Scissors made the swap over to Genji, I knew that he was like, I don't even have to secure the kills. I can do a little bit of poke damage. My real job here is to just be annoying and force someone into Chronic's line of sight, and that's exactly what he did. Unfortunately, Scissors did lose his life, but then shortly thereafter, Chronic got 2 picks, and then they ended up locking down the point anyway. By the time Scissors made it back to the payload. That being said, 3 minutes 19 seconds on the time bank in favor of the side of Pirates in Pajamas. You gotta change things up. You're losing the spam war, at least on defense. Maybe they're not the best defensive team, or they're not feeling it today, and they're prepared to go for, you know, overtime and have a similar time bank. But honestly, if these first 2 fights really don't work out, I think maybe changing it up will have to be the name of the game.
Well, they're gonna have to find a way to stop Chronic first. I think you're again first thing and foremost, you gotta stop Chronic. Chronic is just finding way too many heads to roll. You gotta stop peeking this man. Chronic is just absolutely tearing it up right now. Wish you could see the stats on how many final blows he has right now, because we're just counting so many times. We're gonna put a counter up on the screen after this game on the bot to figure out how many times Chronic has executed somebody. But 5 seconds left to go. Pretty much gonna be the same composition as you would expect. Scissors gonna take a little bit more of an aggressive angle. Same with Zolik, although you do have the shield to protect you for a little while. Nothing on the side room so far, so they'll just push right on in. Pretty much deja vu with 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock now as they try to push in right around the first corner here. And there's a first headshot, and this time around, Time's going to say hello to Zolik to start us off, and this is going to be a push here for Rift. Again, deja vu, very first pick is from the Hanzo, and now Yamitra is able to find Strider, and now Chime's gonna see if they can pop up at the same token here. It's just the Baptiste running right into, I mean, just to get back to the rest of the team, I guess, to get to the respawn point, and Chime over the top rope yet again, takes down Chronic, and this time Chime says they want to be player.
Oh, there was so much pain in that moment, and before this map even started, I mentioned you really want to play for, you know, the 3-corner defense here. Both teams, 1 corner, instantaneously lose a major player on their team, forced to back off. So they're already on the 3rd corner defense, and Strider is the lone wolf on the front line right now for Pirates in Pajamas, having to maintain this point. It does mean that most of the pressure is on him, though, so it allows the rest of the team to take angles, not have too much pressure on them, because the name of the game is eliminate this tank. Chronic goes down to X10, so X10, they have basically redeemed themselves in that moment, I feel like, taking
X10.
out Chronic.
Yep, Chronic goes down, so right now 5v4 situation in terms of man advantage. Make that down just a little bit more. Astro's able to find Astro goes down by the hands of Zolak, I should say, as well. So Rift having to back off for a little while here, and you can see that payload just rewinding a little bit right now. Not able to take a space. Chime has found a lot of headshots so far, at least in the start and the get-go. So right now, just the Widowmaker just trying to look for the lines, seeing if they can get that top rope right now, but that Widowmaker in a completely different position, maybe looking for that ramp shot, but still nothing doing in terms with halfway through the time bank already. Gotta go and gotta find some picks here because Pirates and Pyjamas were pretty unstoppable in their attack side, especially when Chronic was popping up. They know where the Hanzo is. The Hanzo's just got to back off for right now, back into cover the rest of the way. Immortality Field having to be used very early on. Strider has the Gravitic Flux to use alongside a Transcendence. There's Strider going up to a Gravitic Flux. Is this going to find anything? It will not, but Chronic in the meanwhile able to find a body shot onto Chime through a window. Nothing will happen. Ymitri used the window all to no avail, and it'll be Rift backing off for right now with 90 remaining.
Rift held that position for so long. They had coastline around statue locked down. It just came down to whose shots landed first and connected best. We saw the lift get committed, and honestly, I thought Extreme was going to die in that moment, but they didn't. However, the fight just dragged on. Both these teams, both these compositions play for that long fight. Honestly, I think it just came down to an accuracy diff in that moment.
Yeah, well,
oh, the sneaky angle.
The sneaky
these
angle
are
from
disgusting.
Chronic. Yeah, this is an illegal angle. Oh my goodness. I mean,
So
Infrasight
gross.
not available either. Yet they know because of the radar error. This is disgusting. I mean, what an angle. I mean, if you find a headshot there, if you're the attacking side of Rift, kudos, because that's like a pixel at best to try to find that angle on. But
and evil, and I'm here
evil.
for it.
We're here for the evil energy. That is that angle. Gravitic Flux available to Astro right now. The accretion is used, though, so no stun opportunity. Dragon Strike down the middle. Gonna be the Transcendence as well. Rift is gonna bring out everything. Transcendence is gonna cancel out anything that Gravitic Flux has had so far. This is gonna be a dry fight either way right now because of the Infra Side, but Chronic's able to find Astro on the dip shot. 20 seconds left to go in the air. Chronic finds another one. Somebody stop this man. Oh my goodness. Chronic still executing people. And with 15 seconds left to go, this is gonna be close because there's no Lucio either. There's no going to be able to touch. You only have a Tracer. You only have a Doomfist. Somebody's got to find a way to touch, and you don't have a Lucio either. This may as well be it. 5 seconds left to go. Payload still reversing backwards. Do they have enough for a touch? They do. Doomfist is able to touch, but the Chronic ends that hope for right now. It's going to have to be a stagger here. Rift chances looking so low, and might even look lower. Chime in the backline. I don't think it was even aiming for Chime. It was aiming for the Tracer, but instead finds Chime in your backline, and there's nobody else going to be able to touch as they full hold Rift, and Pirates in Pyjamas sending us to match point.
I think we need to get a cryopactor for Chronic.
Check the PC. Check the PC.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the Ashe was deadly, but this Widowmaker was absolutely disgusting.
Oh my goodness. Gonna find another hit here on the Zenyatta, right? Oh no, gets the elimination still. I don't think that was the best play. I think it was right at the end. It should have been at the end for the play of the game. Let's be honest. It should have been at the end of their attack. My oh my, what a sequence there for Chronic. And Chronic again, probably looking like your MVP of that map, at least for Circuit Royale. Circuit Royale goes 3-0 in the favor of Pirates in Pyjamas. So 2-1 now in what is match point here for the Pirates. So going into the next map now, map number 4, haven't really seen, or have seen this twice against Rift, and Rift right now, again, sitting at 2 maps right now. In terms of data, that has going to 5 maps, but Rift picking this map going on, and for right now, for push, only 3 maps to go off of: New Queen Street, Coliseo, Esperanza, and by the way that Rift has picked, Coliseo is going to be the next matchup here, which, I mean, may go back into that brawl style a little bit, so gets Chronic off the Widowmaker for right now, I would say. Maybe. But Chronic has been Chronic has been in the Ashe, and the Ashe has been good so far. I mean, any hit scan has basically been so good for Chronic right now. So, I mean, what do you do here, especially if the next map is probably going to be Coliseo?
Pray to RN Jesus? No, I'm kidding. I mean, so the first point on Coliseo, if theoretically we're going to play off the idea that Chronic is just going to either pick Widowmaker or Ashe. So let's ignore the bot for a moment. Let's go on the left side and just run through their backline and force them out of positions, and then let our hit scan peek late down that lane after, like, say, a ball and tracer has come around the from the left side and behind the team and force them out further closer towards the bot. And that gives your hit scan an opportunity to get some damage out. Maybe you have a Zenyatta with them to get out discords, and both of them peak late. But honestly, you need to start playing off of timing engages together, looking for where this DPS, like the biggest threat to your survivability, looking where they're at and figuring out, do we need to delete them? Do we need to delete their supports? Because honestly, I really think that in this instance, Chronic is your, like, the virus in the system, the death key, so to speak, and you need to take care of them. So go something that's that'll give you those opportunities, so you're not just looking straight down at the push bot and then seeing Chronic fully scoped down on your head.
Well, that's going to have to be some notes that Riff talks about here in just a couple of moments. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, map number 4, we'll see if we had the Coliseum or anything else, but push map coming up next. A short break here on the Pirates in Pyjamas channel. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break, everybody. Clutch King alongside Nerdy Bird with you here for, I guess, round number 5, if you will, or map number 1, or match number 1 of our 2 matches here that we'll get today. Pirates in Pyjamas up 2-1 against Rift right now. Looking to see if they can steal match point away, or if we will go back to control for map number 5. But when we go into our next matchup as well, and another match you want to watch, Pirates in Pyjamas versus Timeless, if you're waiting for that match follows this one. Coming up here at about 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Meanwhile, focusing back on this game right now, Pirates in Pyjamas up 2-1. If you're just joining us, we'll give you the recap of what's happened so far. In first map of Busan, it was very close, but in the end, it would go 2-1 in terms of scoreline to Rift. They would win 197 on downtown and 150, about 50% on Mecha base. To Midtown, though, the last 2 maps have gone the ways of the Pirates, as Midtown absolutely shutting out Rift, winning 1-0 there on Circuit Royale, 3-0, as Chronic would absolutely pop off on the Widowmaker. You want to watch that back for the highlight reel of Chronic so far. So we go into map number 4 now, and this will be the pick for Rift here. So Rift so far that we know, when they go to map number 4, and they've only gone to map 4 twice before this, at least to our data right now, they picked Coliseo both times for what we know. So, I mean, this could very well be Coliseo, or, I mean, if it's not, then they're trying to just throw them a curveball at this point.
I mean, what if Rift is playing for the long con here and knows that, like, their hybrid and their escort aren't really their forte, but their push and their control really are? So they play to win the first map, kind of do the best that they can, but anticipate the worst, so to speak, on the second and third map, and then really bring it back on the push and going into control. So if hybrid and escort just aren't their forte, and that's the long con game they're playing, that'd be horrifying. That'd be really big brain, but honestly, that's still a lot of pressure, like you like to put on and mount at the beginning of the last map. So really, here is kind of the break point for Rift. They got to keep their heads above the water, so to speak, against Pirates in Pyjamas going into push.
Yeah, they really have to try to bear down and trying to make sure that they can win out this next map, because otherwise it will be Pirates in Pyjamas taking this one away. Rift needed to force map number 5, and there will be no ties after all here, especially going the rest of the way. The only chance he had at the tie would have been Midtown, but other than that, map 5 will be the last one if we get to that. First and foremost, though, got to get to map number 4 here for Coliseo, and I mean, if it is Coliseo, I should say, because there hasn't been a map confirmed just yet, but I mean, yes, that is confirmed actually right now. Thank you very much to our producer. Coliseo is indeed going to be the map that is confirmed. So this will be interesting because, I mean, we've seen either side kind of playing up on that kind of brawl style, unless you're looking for longer sight lines. We've seen the Ramontra being played out, and Ramontra being well done, in fact, by Rift, who, if you watched back that map on Mecha Base, played that May, played that Sojourn very well. You're probably not going to see that this time around, but you're looking at pretty much maybe you may or may not see it. Who knows? I haven't really seen that map play out for Rift. You could very well see it, but if they do decide to play it that way, I mean, for Rift right now, they would be on the advantage.
Yeah, you can play the Ramontra Brawl on Coliseo. It works fine. It's when you get under the bridge point that gets a little bit interesting for some teams, but of course at this level, it's probably not going to be that much of a problem. They know what they need to do. They know what positions they need to take, and who has to be the one, you know, escorting the push bot and holding bot's hand. With that being said, still, you know, it really seems like the clutch point coming out for Pirates in Pyjamas is Chronic on that DPS. So long as you can either avoid their sightlines or kind of nullify them using a May wall and engage on everybody else, definitely makes it difficult for the DPS to find value. And if you can just shut one player down and take care of the rest, that is a win condition in itself.
Well, let's see. I mean, the player to shut down, at least momentum-wise, has been Chronic. So we'll see if this Rift team can shut down Chronic, or if Chronic and the rest of the Pirates in Pyjamas will go up in the record 4-1 record. And you would love to have a 4-1 record, especially when Timeless is looking right in the rearview mirror. And that game is actually going on right now. In fact, we'll try to give you an update on that score in a moment. But right now, Timeless looking pretty dang good, as well as Pirates in Pyjamas. And if Pirates in Pyjamas can close this one out, you're going to see a pretty good map series coming up. At Coliseo, the streets of Rome we go. And right now, nothing on the map so far in terms of either side. That's because we haven't been able to the prepare to attack, prepare to defense phase. But Coliseo, very nice map, and in the dawn time as well. But we get to see the them pull out, and it's actually, if this holds, I mean, it's going to be pretty much that a mirror composition, but the only difference is going to be the supports from the looks of it.
Yeah, we're gonna have Ana as opposed to the BAP. So the question is, who uses cooldowns least effectively is the best way I can put it. I mean, Baptiste, if you don't wait for that shift, that healing burst to be burned first and you try to engage on him, best of luck, because it is disgusting when used at the right times. Abyss has to be careful that they're not caught out without any of their cooldowns, or they are, you know, chopped liver, so to speak, for their team. And it looks like just going to be playing the long spam down from Chronic, the person we said to watch out for. We're going to get first POV. No one's taking an off angle, so that makes this a little bit easier for both X10 and Chronic to do what they want to do, as opposed to having to deal with someone on their backline.
Good Bionade in the backline. That's Sisters and Striders having to back off for a little while because of that Bionade. In fact, while they're fighting it out right now, I'll give you a little bit of a quick update. Timeless right now, in fact, actually beating 0-3 Splash, who was undefeated 4-0. Timeless is up 2-1 going into their next map right now, which would be New Korean Street. So both games right now, both series are on push map, and both series have a 2-1 lead on either side. Pirates and Pyjamas looking to see if they can pretty much square up with Timeless going into the next map here. 9 minutes, robots unlocked, and you can see right now that neither side really want to give up any space. In fact, that robot's kind of just like backwards walks, kind of forwards walks, just a little bit by one step either way. X10 trying to get an angle on it, nothing doing there as the supports both notice it. Lucio booping him away for right now, but this is just 1 minute and 15 seconds in. Neither side is blinked, but kind of what you expect in a mirror composition like this.
One thing I do want to point out, you mentioned it earlier, is Ana taking the opportunity to put in aggressive nades. The question is for Abyss, the win condition right now seems like they're going for a nano onto someone, because Abyss already has nano online, but the issue is that they can't get a whole lot of value out of those nades because they just back off around a corner with the way that both these teams are stacked up right now, and nothing's going to be of value from the nade other than your Ana being down a cooldown. So we'll have to wait and see how Rift decides to play off of those. Or, oh, it looks like, okay, something weird was going on. Bot's just going back and forth a little bit. It's a tug of war.
Yeah, the spot doesn't know where to go. I mean, I feel bad for the robot right now, just going back and forth. Somebody has to find a meter. We're 2 minutes in, by the way, and nobody has scored a single meter, not even 100th of a meter, in fact. So, and it's looking like maybe it wants to go the way of Rift, and now there's a Blizzard that's out, and that's big already because that's Astro going down. That may as well be a fight win already. You've got the tank out, which is huge for you. And so now it's just the rest of the team, but it's falling back, and it's going to be the Pirates in Pyjamas able to take first point here, and finally, after 2.5 minutes, they will get some meters.
And that's unfortunately the downside to having that Ana, is that you're playing really far back. You have to play the long sideline, otherwise you're putting yourself in danger. And we also have seen, we've seen the side of Pirates decide to use the Maywall, take early high ground's gonna back off after taking a little bit too much pressure. But that Ana, you get cut off when that wall goes up, whereas Baptiste is able to jump over it and keep their team alive. So it's something to think about, what type of value you're giving up versus the value that you have when you're playing Ana, which obviously Abyss, he seems to heavily favor that Ana. He's probably aware of these conditions that are being made by the side of Pirates and Pyjamas versus playing the Ana.
21 meters. That's gotten for Pirates in Pyjamas so far. Astro falling oh so low. Good thing you have Nemesis for. And now you have the Annihilation plus the Nano. How about the Annihilation? The sound barrier dropped in time though, so it's going to be Astro that's half the back off. Then Annihilation goes might basically go for nothing here. And now Astro has the Annihilation on their own. The Dragon Strike down the middle on either lane. Nothing doing on either side. It's going to be Strider that uses their Annihilation. Astro using their at the same token. So the Nano Boost goes for nothing, but the Annihilation is able to find Strider in the backline as well. And this is going to be a fight win for Rift as they have to back off.
Maybe Pirates were anticipating the counter beat coming out from Jolik there and decided, you know what, we're just going to nano ram. I'm going to go on with Nemform and just hold block and wait for them to use their ults. Back off, stay alive, and then I'll re-engage with my ult. Exactly what just happened. And people got deleted. The beat was gone, so there was nothing to keep them alive. I really think that beat was anticipation for the Ramacho ultimate that just didn't come.
You might only see one part of this map so far, folks, because, I mean, this has been going back and forth. You might only see this walkway right now. Sisters isn't caught off in that vortex, which means they don't know that Sisters might be there ready to throw out a Blizzard, but just holding on to it for right now. There's the Hanzo that spots them on the other side, so Sisters trying to play sneaky, nothing doing there. Blizzard available for Sisters, nothing else in terms of ultimate, so this Blizzard could very well play a huge part, and Bot is back in the middle. Difference right now sitting at about 1.5 meters in terms of a lead here for Rift. But the back and forth continues, a tug of war, just the Spot does not know where to walk. And now there's the wall, and there's going to be the Blizzard out, and I don't think Strider's gonna, rather Astro's going to be able to escape. In fact, Astro goes down, and now Chronic finding shots from the Hanzos. 2 kills already for Chronic. Immortality Field just being used to secure kills, and it's going to be Pirates in Pyjamas taking the lead.
When that male got popped, you saw Astronics pop Nem for him, and then not even bother to block. He's like, no, I got to get out of here. Starts to run away, but just gets eviscerated. That's such a tragic experience for any tank player. And the Ana, who was stacked inside of their Ram in that moment, also got deleted, sent back to respawn. Going into this next fight, we're going to have a Blizzard. Dragons, Window's going to get popped early. Dragons is engaged early. Nano's going to get popped as well. So the only ult online after that is going to be Beat and Dragons. And Rift already down their Mei, who did not manage to get their ultimate before the fight fully started because the engage just came so quick. Yeah,
the engage really came quickly there, but Rift is going to play alongside this, already finding the punch onto Chronic, and it's going to be a big, that's actually a great Bionade that gets 3 inside of the Bionade. Strider actually investing the Annihilation here. It's Sled, but is woken back up. Abyss goes down, and yeah, Strider was also low, and Jolik actually laid when the sound barrier had it available, but didn't drop it in time, because, so Strider does go down. Rift having a little bit of a man advantage, but Sisters is going to cancel that out right away. Time falls to 40 health, and this is going to be a checkpoint in Gotten for the Pirates.
Perhaps Jolik anticipated that the Ramatra, it was another bait, so they didn't want to use beat, but then someone screamed at Jolik and told him, no, you need to beat, and then finally beat it, and it was too little too late.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit too late there, but it didn't matter in the end. Pirates were able to find a fight win thanks to Scissors, and already has another Blizzard ready to go. Chime has a Blizzard available to them as well. Chronic with that Dragon Strike. So 2 ultimates on either side. Big one, though. That sound barrier from Yumitra ready for Rift, seeing if they want to push this up. Oh, my goodness. Ola falling oh so low, but is able to escape with their lives for right now. Blizzard's still available. They don't know where the Mei is. Blizzard's out for Scissors, and Blizzard's going to find Astro yet again. But Extend is able to trade that out. Sound barrier is dropped from Yumitra, seeing if Rift has a chance at this fight. Right now looking like they can push them back. Chime falling also low, does not have the cross race to save themselves. So Strider's able to find a shot onto Chime. And this is yet another push here for Pirates in Pyjamas, who's going to take the robot right back.
That was... I mean, Lucio, I understand dropping the beat and keeping your team alive, but then unfortunately there was just a response of the Mayult, who's already at 39%, 40% on another Mayult. Okay, Scissors, you need to chill. Oh, okay, that pun.
Well, you can't, yeah, what's the pun intended there?
No, but still, the statement still stands. Scissors, chill out a little bit. Holy cow. Abyss is going to be coming up on Nano. XN has Dragons. Dragons instantly procced when they got up and managed to just beam it down in the underpass, takes down 1. Scissors will get pummeled down by Astronics. Now it's a battle for bot control. Strider is going to be going up against a 4-man army and is sent to the Shadow Realm.
And this is going to have to be really good plays here from Rift, because Rift does not have a lot of time if they want to play this one out. 2 minutes left to go to make up 48 meters and change as they start right now to try to push that robot right along, but that's going to be slow and surely here. Rift would love to win out this fight, seeing if they can get a checkpoint right now, but there's going to be an nano boost onto Astro. Astro can build up the Annihilation right here if you can find a little bit more pummels. Annihilation ready to go. Astro might not even need to use it, but does use it, in fact, trying to chase down this Baptiste. 3 kills falling for Rift, and a fight you want here. And they may or may not get a checkpoint depending on speed right now, but only 90 seconds remaining.
Astronics played that borderline perfectly. Of course, you might see some micro problems, but I didn't see any. I mean, found Lucio and Bap pushed up way too far by themselves, manages to force Immortality. Lucio gets deleted shortly thereafter, forces out the Ramble just to ensure the fight when taking out that Bap, forcing everybody back. You can't do anything with both your supports gone. We're going to see another early Dragons. Strider, in response after getting walled, decides to activate the Annihilation. Gets stuck in Blizz, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
And we have an Amp Matrix go down this entire front lane, so people have to start spreading out and playing angles until it's on cooldown.
Well, the difference right now, so close with a minute left to go. Blizzard is going to come out from Scissors, but actually Scissors goes down with it. Chronic, though, is still able to find it all through the chaos. Chronic finds 3, and with 50 seconds left to go, Rift loses their chance at a lead. They've got 9 meters left to go, but Pirates in Pyjamas back at it. And they didn't get the checkpoint either.
The execution between the DPS combo there was very nicely done. I mean, you drop the dragons to force them out of position from the high ground, and then the mail underneath them, because it's like, where else are you gonna go? They anticipated the disengage from the dragons, but I don't think Rift anticipated needing to follow up with a response to the mail command. Unfortunately, they were sent to the cryo chambers.
Dragon Strike available for Rift. That's pretty much the only ults on their side. Pirates in Pyjamas having the sound barrier. Pirates in Pyjamas want to end it right here, right now. Dragon Strike's going to come down the lane. He's not going to find anybody. Supports are able to escape with their lives. Splits up the team, though. Sound barrier hits 5. And so is Jolik and the rest of Pirates in Pyjamas wanting to end it right here down mid. 9 meters lead here for the Pirates so far. And Scissors and Z-Man might be able to end this right away. Kills falling for the Pirates right now. Game over looking like as the overtime clock will bleed away. They don't even need to chase the robot down anymore. 9 meters the difference. And a 3-1 series victory as Pirates in Pyjamas move up their record to a 4-1 Summer Series.
Fighting in those little corridors on the right side of bot by the mini packs is always so scary. And another support POTG, Jolik coming down loose. I actually think it's his final sound barrier. Yeah, during last fight. Uses it, goes in with amp, boops people in and just line of damage, starts pummeling in with the tanks and decides, all right, this is it. Cleans everybody up with the help of Strider and their Baptiste.
Yeah, I mean, what a game overall there for Pirates in Pyjamas. Up in the series 3-1, wins the series, and now moves on to a 4-1 record. Meanwhile, if you're scoreboard watching right now for the next match, Timeless and O3 Splash going on right now, we might see Game 5 going on there as New Queen Street right now. O3 Splash up 73 meters and counting on New Queen Street. You can watch that over on Timeless OW, all part of the Timeless broadcast project. So right now, Timeless might be going to a 5th map here if O3 Splash keeps this up. But for right now, Pirates in Pyjamas can be watching that game pretty much sitting comfortably in their chair after a very nice 3-1 win.
Yeah, use it as an opportunity to relax a little bit, gather some data, get the intel that you need, look for the weak points on Timeless, and be ready to go up against them. That being said, though, that was honestly, I know you mentioned it, and it was quite comical, just how long we sat there as casters in the beginning, like almost full 3 minutes of the bot going, not even touching either of the barricades, just back and forth. And that just kind of shows how patient both teams were, because they were waiting for the conditions to be met for what they needed to do. And the borderline mirror compositions, that is just basically what you're going to see in most situations, especially on push point and on control points, similar to how we did on Mecha Base Busan, where it felt like it was going for a really long time, and then finally someone made a mistake, or one team decided to position a little differently, and it was not the optimal option in that instance. So with that being said, I hope we don't see as much mirror composition, but of course, meta's a meta for a reason. So we'll have to wait and see how Pirates perform going up against Timeless, but for now, like you said, they can relax.
Yeah, they can relax for right now. In fact, there's a lot of different scores to report here in a couple of moments. Actually, we have it right now. So going on right now over on that Timeless one, you want to watch out for that 3rd match you see on your screen. Timeless O3 Splash right now at 2-1. In fact, we even get the update right now. They are tied at 2 apiece. So indeed, we are going to map number 5 in that matchup. So you want to watch that one on the Timeless OW channel. Meanwhile, again, you see Pirates in Pyjamas winning 3-1. Other final scores, Saints sweeping Dragon Dance 3-0. So that would mean that they move on into a very nice record, settling in at 3-1, I believe, as well. Or rather, I should say 4-1 in terms of the standings. And yes, Saints are now 4-1. Meanwhile, Good Boys and Afterlife going on right now. Good Boys have the lead 2-1 there, and Wisp have a 2-1 lead up on Strix. So pretty much standings-wise, pretty staying true to themselves right now. But Amplify and Worldwide, another one you want to watch out, because Amplify is sitting at the 9th spot, just outside of the top 8 playoffs. They're playing against a Worldwide team who are still seeking their first win. Right now, Worldwide has the advantage going into push right now. So for anybody that's standing watching right now, Amplify and Worldwide, one you want to watch out for if you want to see who plays in to that top 8 playoffs, at least very early on to see who, as if the playoffs started right now, I should say. But in terms of games you want to be watching for the next one, it is Pirates in Pyjamas taking on Timeless in this next matchup. And you can see that on your screen. Timeless right now, again, in a 2-2 score up against O3 Splash. They are going to the next control map, which will be Timeless's pick. So a map you do not want to miss. Head on over to Timeless OW. Then come on back here for the next matchup as Timeless OW taking on the Pirates in Pyjamas, who will take up a next spot. We will take a short break. When we come back, the next matchup for you. We'll be right back.